Do ba do ba do 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 do. Ba da 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 ba ba da 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 da.
This episode of Off My Shelf contains coarse language and adult conversation. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, my name is Tracy James and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are well off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In this episode, Sarah Behl is here to talk about the long-running animated show, Family Guy. Welcome!
Woo!
Thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure.
I'm very much looking forward to the discussion as I got an email from you earlier this week, which, hold on, let me quote, I can do this. Just a warning, I'm hating the Family Guy pretty hard. I may be writing a spec script out of spite. So yeah, this is how it's going so far.
I mean, it has not aged well at all.
It really hasn't. I know I had told you to start watching the show a while ago because I was like, oh, it's a TV series. You might want to get a lot of episodes in or something. I don't know. And then I waited to the last minute to watch them. So mainly I watched episodes from the first season of the show. And I maybe laughed once. Holy crap, he's a crapple gets me every time. I don't know why. But everything else, I was just like, can we not do this? That would be
like
great.
They're terrible jokes. They are just like continuous and constant, like the worst type of joke, and you're just like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, just to let you know, in the first episode of the show, the premiere, there is a Aunt Jemima joke. There's a Tiananmen Square joke, and there's a Kool-Aid Man joke, but also Kool-Aid Man hasn't been around for a while, so I don't even know if anybody would get that anymore. So those are just the ones I bothered writing down that were slightly like
that were really just aggravating you.
Yeah, they were like, we've got they were complaining about like Jehovah's Witnesses, and was like, oh no, we just got the Jemima Witnesses, and I was like, really? Is this what we're doing? Yeah.
My hatred notes just are a whole lot less specific than yours. Like, I'm angry that they put children in peril. It's always a funny gag. Like, Peter just runs over two kids. Here's the thing on the news that two children are missing. And he's like, oh, I thought I saw a new park. And the joke is that he ran over the two kids. Yeah. And they're like, why is that a joke? Why was that, like, that's infuriating.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, I agree. A lot of the jokes were just kind of tasteless. You're just like, really? This is what we're gonna do?
Oh my gosh. I watched a Halloween episode in season 9 where they started with a Bill Cosby joke and it ended on an incest joke, and everything in the middle was terrible. Yep. And I was like, for real? This is what this is? Like, I mean, maybe in the moment when we watched these originally, and I think I did, like, it was like strong satire that was like in the realm of like South Parkville. Like, it's more, and maybe people were, I don't know, less sensitive. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. I know what you mean, because I remember, I think it was supposed to be an homage to like All in the Family, but at the same time, it was like a combination of The Simpsons and South Park put together. So you have this like really messed up family dynamic. Then you have like this hyper, gross reflection of society. And then you have just like, oh, we're family fun. That's gonna work out okay at the end of every week. And you're just like, yeah, but I don't want it to. I want you all to die. And it was
on like right after The Simpsons, like 8:30, and so like I probably watched it because it was right after The Simpsons. Honestly,
yeah, it's true.
And I wanted to watch more animation. But yeah, I don't. It's terrible. Like watching, looking back at it now and going like, oh yeah, this is a lot to endure. Like, there are aspects about it that I want to like Alex Bornstein is like amazing, like Lois, and like I love her, and they have other cool voice actors and actors on the show and cameos and that kind of stuff, but like the core of it is just rotten.
Well, and that's the thing, right? The voice work is fantastic. Even like the like the sound design, like the scores and all that kind of stuff, fantastic. But then then you put it on top of the story that they're actually telling, and you're just like, this is gross.
Yeah.
Can we not?
Or it's just like, I don't know. I think we're definitely more aware social consumer now, like, because we're attuned to it so much more strongly, I hope. And so like, and I don't know, we're in kind of like, we're in a post Schitt's Creek era where like we want to see the best and not just like live in the worst. And like, and have no hope. So, and it's just like stating the obvious. And I don't think you can just like state the obvious anymore and like, it's a joke. And I'm like, no, we want better. We expect
better.
Punch up.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing I found about it too is that like most shows, like even with All in the Family, which has its own problems, you know, but out of that came, oh my God, I'm going to forget what those shows were called with the black people.
Oh, yeah. The Jeffersons?
Jeffersons. Oh, my God. I'm disgusted with myself. I forgot.
Give me your black card.
Yes. Here you go. Take it.
Thank you.
And no, but the thing is at the end of every episode, like Archie Bunker, quote unquote, learned something. Right. And that was one of the keys to it. You're just like, he's a old white man who doesn't want to change his ways, and he's racist and he's sexist and he's ignorant. But at the same time, at the end of every episode, he's just like, maybe I am ignorant. And then it leaves you with like a thought. But at the end of every episode, nobody's learned anything. Nobody's changing their behavior. Nobody's just like, what did we learn from this? And they're pretty much at the end of it, nothing. We're going to stay ourselves. And you're just like, can you not? Can you just be a little bit different from now on? That would be awesome.
Like do better, Seth MacFarlane. Shame.
Yeah. You know, like I was watching, which episode was it? It was the one where, I Am Peter, Hear Me Roar. It's an episode from March 2000. I think it's technically the second season of the show, where Peter has to go to sensitivity training. And the thing is just like, okay, I see this satire here, right? It's Office, and they're just like, we give sensitivity training, but it's like 1950 sensitivity training, you know? You're like, you gotta tell a woman she looks good every day, or else she'll feel insecure, like it's shit like that. And then he goes to sensitivity training, and they're just like, women, you know, are taught to compete against each other, and you know, you have to treat women like human beings and all this kind of stuff. And they're telling you all the things that are true that you should be doing. But then Peter comes in touch with his feminine side. Lois gets mad because he won't have sex with her. And yes, that can be a problem in a relationship. I understand. But how she gets him out of it is she has a cat fight with another woman who stood around degrading her for her choices in life. And you're just like, wait, what are you trying to tell people? Like, this isn't, you know, and at the end of the episode, Peter is back to being Peter. So he hasn't evolved. He hasn't learned anything. He's not more sensitive to her. He's just Peter again. And you're just like, what, like the satire is supposed to enlighten. It's not supposed to be in the same place all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Or even just like, or don't just immediately like assume the worst of things and get away with that. Like there was one episode I watched about, it was Lois's parents, the wealthy people, and about how they met, and they met with him immediately punching her in the face. And the next scene is, you took that like a champ, let's make out. And then flashback to the future, he's having an affair on her with somebody who's been sex trafficked. And I'm just like, all of those things are terrible. Like terrible. Like, yeah, like what is the joke there? Because like those are just true facts, right? Like, yes, wealthy rich men get away with doing terrible
whatever they want
to other people. violence against women is committed against women of every socioeconomic level. Like, yeah, those are good things to point out, but like, you have to do it like that? Like, oh, it was just like, it's guttural. You're just like, oh, why did you just like slit my throat while you're at it? You're already there. Like, how much more terrible do you want me to feel in this 30 minutes?
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's episodes where they slit people's throat. It's fine. And my other thing is the way they treat Meg throughout the whole series.
Oh, yeah. And it's fucking Mila Kunis, too. I'm like, she deserves to be treated that way. Fuck that.
The funny thing I found out about it is that Mila Kunis wasn't the original voice of Meg. The original voice of Meg was actually Seth McFarlane's sister.
Oh,
and I was like,
even worse.
Really?
That is even worse. He was going to treat his sister, his actual sister, just continuously like shit.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to give her a name. Her name is Rachel McFarlane. Yes.
Oh, that's bullshit. Yeah. That is such bullshit.
It really is.
And then you think of the outside, the world, because he got so many spinoffs from this fucking show.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's the Cleveland show that ended up getting canceled.
Yeah, and that was, I don't know, there were things about the Cleveland show that I really liked and enjoyed, just because it had, I don't know, but it was still at its core very bad and making just terrible jokes. And it was so frustrating. Yeah, he wanted to be the animated Archie Bunker or Norman Jewison of
oh God, yeah.
The man who like created and wrote all the shows.
Yeah. I think I was telling you before, I was thinking, it couldn't have aged that bad. It was a pretty funny show. And I sat there and watched a bunch of episodes and I was like, oh my God, why? So yeah, I don't understand how this show is still, there's new episodes still being made every year. So I have no idea how this has lasted.
It's still on the air?
Yeah, I'm like 98% sure it is still on the air.
Bullshit!
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's pretty infuriating.
Yeah. Because I know it did get canceled at one point in time for like a little while. I'm not sure what year that was. And then it came back. Yeah, there are 21 seasons of this show.
Wow. That's a lot.
That is a lot, yeah.
Well, I think now's the time, Tracy. I'm looking to get a writing gig in the television film industry. I'm pitching myself right now to Seth MacFarlane, the man I've called bullshit for however much time this has been recording. Mm-hmm. Hey, please, Mr. Seth MacFarlane, hire me based on these two scenes.
Sorry, I do have to make a correction. Apparently, they're on season 19, but their contract has been renewed to season 21.
Okay.
Sorry. Just a correction. Yeah. Before I get like angry emails from somebody or something.
Do you get correctional emails on this thing?
I do not, but I did get tweeted at last week because I couldn't remember the name of a dude from something. And somebody was like, hey, it's this guy. And I was like, oh, I know who that guy is. And that was it. So I was like, oh my God, people are interacting. I have fans. And I felt very special about it.
Yay. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, you guys are great. I'm going to tell you this right now. We're going to read the spec script. And I do not do the voices because if I try, I will offend somebody in some way. So I am not going to bother doing that, or I will hurt myself, I think.
No, I'm not going to do any. I'm not going to try to do any voices either.
Did you want to start?
Okay, so this is going to be the Halloween 2020 spec script. There's only 2 scenes here because my hatred only spurned this much writing. And so do you have a punny name that we could have for the Halloween 2020 title?
A punny name. No, I don't.
Oh, can we call it Quarantine Wolf?
You're much better at this than I am. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
That might inspire a Teen Wolf reference later in the episode, which is not written.
Which is not written as yet, yes.
In case you get angry tweets.
Yeah.
Why wasn't the Teen Wolf reference? Okay.
Well, I mean, there is a reference. Wait, no. Candy corn? Candy quarantine?
Candy quarantine. Nice.
Go that way. I don't know. Is it? Don't
like
patronize me. You don't have to. It's fine.
I'm enthusiastic for comedy.
Okay.
So we got our cold open. It's interior on the house day. Lois and Stewie meet upstairs in the hallway. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be Lois or Stewie?
I'll be Stewie.
Okay. Oh, Stewie, you're dressed up as a Canadian lumberjack for Halloween? That's so nice.
Stewie. Actually, I'm a Nova Scotian lobster fisher on my way to burn down a rival fishery.
Stewie, those fishermen committed acts of violence on Indigenous communities. Those actions are racist.
There is no racism in Canada, woman. Justin Trudeau was on Lily Singh's Late Show, which means he knows an Indian. Also, sometimes he dresses like one.
Cut to Justin Trudeau in brownface on RuPaul's Drag Race. And Ru is saying, you say it, Tracy.
Your look is so ill-conceived, poorly executed, but is a true don't. Mr. Prime Minister, sashay away.
Okay, this is our introduction music. It seems today. Well, we see.
It's violence in movies and sex on TV, but when you do something
where the good old-fashioned values I went for you to
lie. Lucky there's a family got boo boo doo. Something, 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 something. Da 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 da.
Effing Christ!
He's family God.
And then the introduction.
Oh God.
I like how we both remember that so well. So we got interior, living room, night. Brian and Chris are talking on the couch in front of the TV. Do you want to be Brian or Chris?
I'll stick with Brian. It's fine.
Okay. There's nothing scary on Netflix.
Oh, then don't fall into the white guy vortex of the stand-up comedy section.
It's too late. I'm already here. I'm doing the voice. Flicking through Netflix list. Bill Burr, Jack Whitehall, Colin Quinn, Todd Glass, Craig Ferguson. Time passes. Zach Galifianakis, John Mulaney, Jim Gaffigan, Brent Moran, Anthony Jeselnik, Jim Carr. Time passes. Judd Apatow, Colin Quinn again, Russell Brand, Joe Rogan, Tom Segura, Bert Kirshner, Jim Jeffries. Time passes. Tom Papa, Jerry Seinfeld, Patton Oswalt, Mark Maron, Jeff Foxworthy, Ron White. Time passes. It is morning, and Peter walks down the stairs. And Douglas by Hannah Gatsby. You be Peter.
Hannah? Hey, that's not a man. That's a woman in a suit. I feel so vulnerable. Peter clutches his house coat around him. And scene. So, look, if we see this on television at any point in time, we're going to sue. I'm just going to say. Or you got to give us some reparations. That's right. I used the word reparations. You're welcome.
Speak.
Yes. Are we going to just start? We're going to start. Yes.
Queen.
Also, sashay away is the greatest thing RuPaul ever says. I'm just going to say it.
I just want him to say that to Justin Trudeau in real life. IRL, that needs to happen. Also, those guys in Nova Scotia need to stop burning down fisheries, and the RCMP needs to do something. Just my shout out.
Yeah.
Canadian politics. What?
No. I think it's funny that a lot of Canadians, including myself, sometimes think, oh, we're better than the States. At least we're not these people. And I'm like,
equally terrible. Equally terrible.
We're just as bad.
It's not worse sometimes.
Yeah. Well, what I think that one of the things that makes it worse is that, yes, it may have taken the death of someone in the States for there to be riots and protests and all that kind of stuff. But there's deaths here all the time of Indigenous people, and there's still no riots and protests and stuff to get things changed. And when there are riots and protests, people are just like, you're being very inconvenienced. Like, can you just get out of the way?
Oh,
It's one of those things. So it's a very sad and contentious topic. Yes. So yes, thank you for bringing this to the forefront, Sarah. Thank you.
I just wanted to show that this show has an audience, and it could be powerful if it wanted to be. It could do better jokes if it wanted to. It wasn't very hard, and it's about the laugh quality. I think the average watcher watches from it, and I'm not saying it's good. I don't think it's actually that funny. I just want better for people. I want better people to be presented with better options.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one of the problems with shows like this, where it's the joke mentality. It's like, if you don't laugh at it, you're just missing it. Like, you don't get it. And it's like, no, I get it. It's just not funny, or it's just not helpful, or, maybe if you did it slightly differently, it could be better. I mean, I think if enough time passes by and you have the right person, anybody can make a joke about anything and we will laugh. Agreed.
Well,
but
and I think it shows, like, I don't know, although and I'm happy to switch topics and talk about Orville, which I think is a much more like diverse perspective of like idea and thought and peoples, and under this Seth McFarlane like umbrella of creations. And so, but it's just so infuriating to me that this is still like obviously like the Archie Bunker point of view. It's conservative, it's the white man perspective, it's very limited and narrow, and it's going to make jokes at everybody else's expense and never necessarily for like the cultural good or betterment of people. So it's frustrating.
Well, that was the same with his show American Dad, right?
It's conservative white man putting down his daughter left, right, and center. I mean, like, I don't know why I watched that show too. I hated that show and I related to it so hard only because of the older daughter's experience.
Yep.
But it was a terrible show.
And I don't know if that show's got canceled, but it is on. And I watched a lot less of this show than Family Guy. I watched maybe like a season or two, or maybe like sprinkled episodes every once in a while. But they often get to a point where I'm just like, I can't look at this, because I'm just like, you are just putting like just like this gross miasma of of everything destructive in our current state of being out there, and you're just like, oh, let's laugh at the people that we're making fun of, and you're like, no, you're doing it wrong. Thank you.
Like, I'm so over all your abortion jokes already. Like, if I have to hear one more, I'm gonna lose it. It's just clearly like, women weren't involved or considered in this project, because I'm sure if one woman writer was in that room and was like, hey, this one not so cool, guys, like maybe not this one.
Well, the funny thing is, so one of the sets that I have is the Family Guy, Stewie Griffin, the Untold Story Collection. And it's 3 episodes from season 4, episode 28, 29, and 30. And it's just 3 stories back to back of Stewie doing Stewie things. And the second part of those is actually written by Alex Bornstein. What's that episode called?
That's cool.
It's called Bango What's His Name-O. It's the one where Stewie meets this guy who looks like him, and it turns out it's himself from the future who's come back in time.
I remember that one.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I was watching and I was like, oh, this episode is actually different than the other episodes, because yes, Stewie still has his like, I want to kill my mother mentality, and yes, Meg is, it's in the future, so Meg's a man now, and Peter is being Peter. He's just being gross. But there's so less of a focus on degrading other people throughout the episode that I was just like, oh, you're actually doing like actual jokes instead of just like degradation all over the place, like insulting as many people as possible, as fast as possible, as you can. Because within the whole episode, it's just Stewie being a horrible adult and being sad that this is the adult he grows into, and it's just him following him around in his life. And I was like, oh, so the adult white male is the one who's pathetic? Oh, thank you so much. This is making me feel better. I don't know.
Or it's just like, it's nice to have that other point of view and a different perspective, and like, literally Seth MacFarlane was doing 3 of the voices on the show too, so it was always
more than that. He does,
at least, or like the 3 of the main characters, because he does Brian, Stewie, and Peter,
and Quagmire.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's like is he just like what's it called? Like a secret schizophrenic, like got all the voices in his head.
It's like, stop it! There's so many!
We're all talking at once.
Yeah.
Looking back, I think my only thing I liked about the show was Adam West as the mayor.
Yeah.
Because he was just absurd. His comedy was always just like absurdist humor. Like, it made no sense. He's handing out Cornish hens for Halloween and putting gravy. Like, it's just so weird and delightful, and I like that a lot.
Well, the funny thing is on the Untold Story thing, so they set up, there's an entry to it where he's like, it's a red carpet event that people are going to, right? And he comes up and he's like, "Ooh, here's the mayor of Quahog, Adam West." He's like, "Do you have any words for our audience?" And he's like, "Pencil, refrigerator, aluminum. No. I'm gonna keep aluminum for myself." I forget what the actual words were, but I started laughing. That was like the first solid laugh I have had, and at that point in time, I'd watched like 8 episodes of the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is fine.
It's a lot of work for a solid laugh. You should get to that laugh in the first 30 seconds or you're cooked.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. But I also, maybe I'm kind of lying, because in the episode A Hero Sits Next Door is the one where you first get introduced to Joe. The first time you see that he's a guy in a wheelchair, Peter says, "Holy crap, he's a crapple." And, I still feel like that is offensive, but for some reason, no matter how many times I hear it, when it is structured within that scene in the show, I get at least a snort. Like, I don't get like a full belly laugh. I'm not like missing 10 minutes of the show after that. I'm just like,
yeah.
What?
Oh, clever. How witty. I'm delighted.
It is thoroughly delightful. Thoroughly, I tell you.
I'm throwing my pinkies in the air now.
So true. Hold on. I just realized
clever wordplay is like, it appeals to us. I think it's just like part of our sensibilities.
Yeah. It's true. One thing about the show I really did like is the amount of voice talent that showed up on the show. Like even just like the regular people are fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
McFarlane, you got Alex Bornstein, Seth Green, Mila Kunis. Then you have Patrick Warburton, and who was this guy who did Cleveland? Oh, Mike Henry, who quit because it's like, I'm not a black person doing a black person's voice. That's wrong. I was like, yeah, I get that.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Take notes. Who's doing a poo on The Simpsons?
Oh, yeah, he quit too.
Did he? Good.
Yeah, he said he quit. He's
good.
Not doing it anymore.
Good. That's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Snaps.
Yeah. He did it before this guy did. So
good.
Yeah, no, he does. He thoroughly gets off of that. Yeah.
Good job, guys. That's what we want to see. Keep it up.
That's what we need out there.
I always loved Hank Azaria as Gargamel in The Simpsons, or in the Smiths franchise.
I will say this. I hate those movies. they're crap.
And he is
but he's fantastic. Yeah.
He is he's the reason to watch that. Him and what's his name? Oh no, I forgot Doogie Howser's name. Yes.
See, I got you this time. I did it.
Thank you. I'll give you your black card back.
Thank you.
For Doogie Howser.
Really? No, don't I give you another one back for that? Like, I don't. Here's 12. Just take them, run with it. It's fine.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I watched, I think it was half of the first movie was the furthest I could get into it. And I was like, I can't do this. But then I watched what's the one with the girl Smurf and they find out there's a village of girl Smurfs? I watched that whole movie. I actually kind of enjoyed that one.
I cried so hard. What? I saw it in theaters and I was crying. I was like, oh my god, my whole life I've just waited to see this moment of a village of Smurfs that are women and they just love each other. They live in this community and this is so special. And it was my dreams. It was so good.
I was surprised how much I liked that one. I was just like, okay, this is working for me. I'm all right with it. Everything is fine.
I think Katy Perry was Smurfette, and
was it that one that she was?
Or
Smurfette?
maybe I think the first one she was definitely Smurfette, and then the first one had the Katy Perry song.
Anyways, Lost Village. It was who played Smurfette? It was Demi Lovato.
Demi Lovato.
Yeah, and Rainn Wilson voiced Gargamel.
But yeah, he did a good job. He did a great job as Gargamel.
Oh my god, I didn't realize how many. So it's Demi Lovato, Rainn Wilson, Joe Manganiello. I hope I said that right because he's a very pretty man. Jack McBrayer, Danny Pudi, Mandy Patinkin, D. Bradley Baker, Michelle Rodriguez, Ellie Kemper, Julia Roberts. Yeah, so many people were in that one.
It's so good. I watch it again. It is amazing.
I know. I really do like that one.
It was great. I love the animation style too. Like it's just so like, look at we tied it right back into the Family Guy with our animation and our love of animation. Like, but it's like one of those things. Like it's drawn in that style. Like it reminds you of the visual illustration when you're watching it, which I like makes it extra special to me. Yeah, it was a solid movie. It had great music. I feel like for some reason, I had a Smurfs record as a kid, and the Smurfs and like solid soundtracks synonymous in my brain. So super enjoyable.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I know for a fact I watched quite a bit of Smurfs when I was younger, but it's not one of those shows that stuck in my head. Like I know what they look like. I know what the song is. You know, la 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 la. You can't not have that in your brain at some point in time, and you're welcome for listeners who now have it in their brain. But I remember so little of like the episodes or what the show kind of felt like or sounded like overall. You know what do you know what I mean? Like I don't remember, like some shows like, oh, I remember this episode or I remember this episode and I remember this thing happening. I mean, I remember like the Smoggies like better than this, and I watched a lot less than that.
I guess I don't know. I consumed a lot of Smurfs content. So I agree. Like it kind of all melts together in my mind a little bit. But I remember I have I know Jokey has that package and it's going to explode. And I know the one in the glasses is going to break his glasses and he's going to say something really nerdy. Like, it's like you have certain expectations, and then when they perform those expectations, you're delighted. You're like, I knew that was going to happen! I knew it!
Because that's what's supposed to happen, right? That's what's supposed to go on.
And then, it definitely, kind of committed that formula of, by the end of the cycle, everything has returned to it was, and nothing has really changed, right? It's adventures ensued, but no growth has happened. Like Gargamel hasn't learned. His fucking cat is still a fucking annoying brat. What's his name?
Oh my god, what is
he's my favorite cat to
what is the Azriel? Ooh, Frank Welker did the voice, and he does voices in Darkwing Duck and stuff.
Oh, cute.
I remember I had to do a whole bunch of research on him for my
Do you have
Darkwing Duck
Darkwing
episode.
Duck? I love Darkwing Duck. That was great.
Yeah, I did it. It was one of the episodes that started that was right when the whole COVID shutdown happened.
Okay.
And I was like, I haven't figured out my technology yet, so I'll do this episode myself. It was fine. I actually kind of enjoyed doing it myself, but I'm like, it took so much effort. It took so much more effort than usual.
That's what she said.
That's what she always says, okay? So much effort. So much effort.
Guys.
Yes. Yes. Smurfs. I don't know.
Are you watching any recent animation that you like to watch right now?
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite things right now is the new DuckTales show, and they're putting Darkwing Duck in there as well, so it's kind of amazing. That's cool.
It's got like half the cast of SNL are the voice actors on that one, right?
Yeah. But they do such a good job. They've got like a Doctor Who. They have Danny Pudi from Community. Cool. They have Bobby Moynihan. Who's the other one? Who does the other voice?
It's like Beck Beckinsale, Whitey McWhiteman.
It's one of those guys.
No.
I don't know. I just think the update to the storyline has just been so good. The only thing I find, I don't know, it's not really weird or like why they thought it was necessary, or I guess maybe kids are more aware now than they used to be, but like they brought the triplets' mother back into this show. Whereas before you're just like, oh, it's Donald with his nephews, and you're just like, we're assuming she's dead, and that's it.
She was dead. I'm pretty sure that was clearly identified to us somehow. She was dead.
But they brought her back, and she's like, her name's Della Duck, and she's like a fantastic role model for them and for women in general.
Cool. Awesome.
So like all of the female characters in here are pretty strong. So I think it's a great show for boys because Huey, Dewey, and Louie, they actually gave them 3 different voices. You can tell them apart. Don't ask me which one is which. Please don't, because that's just fun. But they also each have very distinct personalities, and they learn and they work together and they do all this stuff, and it's just like really nice, well-written stories. And Scrooge is a lot more into the show instead of like, I'm a rich duck over here and you guys are doing crazy things over here. He's like in the story.
Oh, that's cool.
I think it works out really well.
They have integrated plot lines. They do things together.
They do things together. Yes. Yeah. So, and it's still a wacky town and things are still crazy and I love it.
That's fun.
And of course, I also watched all of the new She-Ra show. Loved every minute of it.
Amazing. I really want to get into it, but it's super military, and I wasn't expecting that vibe.
Do you think it's too military? I guess it's about protecting your world.
It's a war story.
It's a war story.
Yeah, and I don't love military, I have to say. Like, it was kind of a bit of like I don't know. I guess it's going to be controversial. I know so many tweets you're going to get from this. Okay. But I'm more team Gem and the Holograms than She-Ra.
Okay. No. I get it. But are they going to do a new Gem show? Because that Gem movie was stupid.
Love it. I would love that so hard. Yeah. Actually, I have to give this a little shout out because it was very like I feel inspired by Gem and the Holograms in a weird way, but it's called Julie and the Phantoms.
Why don't I know this show?
It's on Netflix and it's delightful, and it becomes kind of like they break out into so it's about a boy rock band that dies, I think in the 80s or 90s, I can't remember. They die before they hit their peak, and then they become ghost backup band for this girl, Julie, who's just lost her mom and going through some grief. But she's an amazing singer. Everyone's an amazing singer, and it like breaks it into like music. It's not a musical, I would say. It just has musical moments. Yeah. But they're like to further the episodes. Like it's meant to be. This is a performative music performance, and then they don't just usually break out into song in the middle of and we're talking now and I'm singing the rest of my sentence.
Okay. I don't mind musicals when it's like, oh no, we're just a band and you can see our performances, so there's music. I don't like the bursting into song, like a la, High School Musical or something.
Yeah.
No, none of that stuff.
It would give the impression of something that resembles High School Musical, but I argue that it's much better than that. But enjoyable, very enjoyable.
I mean, this does look interesting.
You're gonna love it.
Mm-hmm. It's got an 8.4
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, I don't know.
On
what does IMDb's rate come from?
Oh, it's IMDb scale out of 10, I guess. 8.4 out of 10.
Yep. So that looks pretty good. I will definitely check it out. Like, I know a lot of people think it's weird that I watch a lot of kids' content, but honestly, sometimes it's just nicer to watch kids' content and you don't have to get so over emotionally distraught about like these crazy deep dark storylines that are percolated through all of like quote unquote adult content these days. I just find it to be so much. But also a lot of kids content right now is fantastic.
Oh, it's so good. And I would say it's just it's still intense, but in different ways, right? The intensity is around social interaction and social integration and and acceptance and fitting in and finding friendship and navigating relationships, which is still those can be intense emotions. My daughter right now is watching Worst Witch, and it's about all girls school, and they're learning how to become witches, and they live in a boarding school, and it resembles a building I used to work in at a boarding school, and it's just so relatable. I'm I didn't even attend the organization as a student, but I'm crying at episodes. I cry a lot at kids content, I have to tell you. Dora the Explorer live action, cried. Everything Pixar, cried.
Well, that's what Pixar does. Pixar likes to run up and be like, oh, look at all the colors, everything's so pretty, and now you're gonna start crying, and you're just what is happening? That's just what Pixar does. But yeah, a show like Steven Universe, for example, was so good at that, because I mean a lot of the show was just about having emotional wellness, and figuring out how to be friends with people, how to be a good person. And yeah, there were definitely episodes where you were just why am I feeling things? What is happening? These are 11-minute episodes. How am I feeling this much? Time period. Shows like that are just so good at that kind of thing. And it was the same thing with Gravity Falls did that in a bunch of episodes as well. Yes, it was wacky adventures and stuff, but also it was about being a really good sibling or being a good adult figure for people that are below you, how to make friends, how to be a good friend, how to, you might like somebody, that doesn't mean somebody likes you back, and how to handle rejection without being an asshole. It's stuff, and it's not hit you over the head, but at the end of it you're just oh, that's how you should do it. Don't be a dick. You're just yay,
don't be a dick, just don't be a dick.
So that's one of the reasons why I like shows like that, where you're just it is all kind of clouded in this bubblegum world, but at the same time no, it's real lessons, and it's teaching you real ways to help you with your life and how to feel, how to emote, how to explain things, how to get what you want out of a situation, without manipulating or using someone, they're really well done.
I love I think it's called Aggressive Retzko. It's Hello Kitty's Bread Panda. It's in the same, and so she works in an office and gets shitted on by her boss, and gets her angst out by singing heavy metal, and it's so freaking relatable. I'm is this for children? Is this for adults? Shit, I'm crying again.
Yeah, I know.
But it's so good, and it's just it hits every note, and you're I am feeling all of these emotions. This is just so relatable. You're just so emotional. I think like I definitely know that like I think with animation we don't assume, or even illustration, like in comic books, like I don't know if we make ourselves more open to it because we know it's not reality, just for the removal of like it's not real life actors. It's we know it's fantasy. It could be anything, but we become so vulnerable to it emotionally. And so
yeah, because you don't prepare yourself for it because of that, right? You're like, no, this is a drawing on a piece of paper. I have disassociated with this. Like, this is fine. Yeah. Like, you watch, like, I read a comic book. I really should catch up on it. I haven't gone back in a while, but one of my favorite comic book series is a comic called Chew, and it's about a future where eating chicken has been outlawed because of bird flu. Anyways, that may sound really stupid because it kind of is. But also, there's a point in it where Pollo is a cybernetic chicken that protects people. He dies. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Spoiler alert. And for some reason, I was just like, why am I feeling things? I may not have actually cried externally, but inside, I was just like, what's happening? What is going on? Or like, there's a part where the main guy, Chu, he starts getting along with his his sister, who's a lot younger than him, and you're just like, oh my god, that's an emotional connection you guys have made. I'm so happy for you. Like it's a weird thing. But yeah, like you're reading it, you're just like, oh my god, I'm reading a comic book about a legal chicken, and now I want to cry. Go fuck yourself. Like, what is your problem? Why are you doing this?
I wasn't prepared for any of this.
Yeah, and I think a lot of like kids shows, they're at the point where they're like, oh, we're gonna teach kids lessons, but we don't want them to know they're being taught a lesson, like the way like our things used to be. Like, at the end of like a Teddy Ruxpin would sit there and be like, so the point of today's episode was this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, if you have to do that, you haven't done your job.
Yeah.
So
just show us. Don't tell us. Show us.
Exactly. And I think like even shows like Star versus the Force of Evil, which finished last year or the beginning of this year, excellent show. Definitely, your daughter would love it. I think it might be a little old for her.
Give her a year or two.
Yeah, because it's kind of like grade 9, like 13, 14 kind of thing. So, but also the content is relatable. I think she would get it. That's fine.
She was reminding me, this is just kind of a funny thought. She was reminding me, she's like, remember this time, I think it was like last year, Dad was like taking me to the theater to see the last Star Wars movie, and everyone just cheered so much. And it was just like, oh, that was a year ago, shit.
Yeah. It's crazy, right?
I know, it's so crazy. And I was just like, that's a cool memory to have. But like, yeah, it's just like, wow, that really illustrates change over a very quick amount of time.
Yeah, this is the first year in 5 years that there hasn't been a Star Wars at like Christmas or Star Wars throughout the year.
It's only Star Wars at Christmas now. Let's be clear. Like, it's not Christmas, it's Star Wars season. half the ornaments on my tree are Star Wars figurines.
And there is nothing wrong with that. So, but yeah, it's true. I do miss going to the theater, though. I loved going to the theater.
I know. Even like the ones that are coming out, I was just like, I don't know if I'd risk it to go see that in the theater right now.
I did go to see, I saw 2 movies in the theater in the last 8 months. And both of these were like a week apart. And then I gave up because I was so underwhelmed by both of these movies. I'm like, I'm not risking going out there again for this.
Oh, that's too bad.
But one of the reasons why I went the second time was because the first time I went, everybody was so spaced apart. It wasn't busy. There wasn't a lot of people in there. It was well-ventilated space. And I was like, you know what? I'm comfortable with this because my friend had to work to talk me into going to the theater. And I told him as soon as I was like, if I get there and I think it's too busy, I'm leaving. Like, that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then, so I told my friends this and they all wanted to see another movie. So we went back the next week And it was the same, like, our theater that holds 200 people had 7 people in it, and none of us were sitting anywhere near each other. It was fine. So yeah, like, and we kept our masks on during the movie.
Right.
Like, I had M&Ms, but, you know, I just, like, dropped them in the top of the mask. It was fine. Technically, I could just take it off while I was eating, but I was like, whatever. So that's good.
And neither of the movies were great. What were they?
I saw Tenet.
Okay. And it didn't blow you away?
Nope.
Oh,
I found it about half an hour into the movie. I figured out the whole rest of the movie. And except for one thing, which was technically I got it right, but there's a scene with a guy who's in like full riot gear. You can't see his face. And technically I figured out who that person was, but I didn't get the correct actual individual in the suit. But you have to see it to understand what I mean by that. Because I don't want to spoil it too much. I know it's still relatively new. We're gonna leave it there. But
okay,
you know,
that's
2
fair.
comic
That's
books
fair.
I can ruin for people.
Okay.
And the other movie I saw was The New Mutants.
Oh,
and
did you like it?
No, it was bad. At the end of the movie, I leaned over to my friend. I was like, "That was really bad, right?" And she's like, "Oh my god, thank you for saying that. I wasn't sure if I was missing something." And I was like, "No, that was bad."
That was just bad.
And you know, the sad part is that movie got delayed for 3 years. And they finally put it out during a pandemic to make some kind of money, I suppose.
They knew it was bad.
Yeah, I think they knew it was bad. But the thing is that the actual actors in the movie are solid actors for the roles. Like the mutants that they were portraying, I think it kind of really worked out. Even though they're not mutants that I am familiar with in like the comic books, even though I may have come across them at some point in time, but I'm not familiar with the New Mutants specifically. But it was very, like, just the whole story and how they put it together was just like, whatever. I don't know. Yeah.
I think is it Marvel related? Is it X-Men related?
Technically it is. It's in the same
Okay.
world. It is a Marvel property. It's just supposed to be like, and they do make reference to Xavier's School for the Gifted and Wolverine and all that kind of stuff. None of these people appear in it at any point in time. Don't worry. But I'm not sure if they're gonna actually put the worlds together. I don't know what the plan is, but because it had such a lackluster, grab at the theater, they may not make any more movies from it anyways. So
I mean, I don't know. The Marvel franchise, we've been pretty the bar now is Deadpool or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, right? Unless you're smashing those boundaries, why even bother? Just switch on to something else. Have you been watching Umbrella Academy?
I have, yes.
It is so freaking good. If you want to talk about adaptation of a comic franchise, those ones are done so well. The second season is freaking amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying the second season is not as good as the first season, and honestly, I think it's the other way around. I think the second season is better than the first season.
Oh my god, blow me away good. It's just amazing. The soundtrack's amazing, the visuals are amazing, the special effects are so good. I love the time frame and how the story is narrated.
The topics that they cover and everything are just fantastic. And how they handle it in the most They handle all of the situation in a very caring and delicate way, but it's also in such a way that you're just no, the reason why we're telling you this is because these are injustices that we are trying to get away from, but they're also the same problems that we're having right now. And look at this.
It's
why
super relevant. Super relatable. Yeah, I mean, it was really enjoyable because I haven't read all of the comic books, but I've read a few of them. But it's just fun to see. I think people are genuinely delighted, which is why Marvel and DC stuff does so well. When they see that transposition from illustrated or comic book to movie or TV show. Like, people are delighted in that. And so I think our expectation of Marvel, like, we need to move on. Like, we have been so focused on them. There are other players.
And I've been trying my best to watch those things. Like, I have not gotten into The Boys. I will admit that.
I can't even.
Yeah, I tried 2 episodes, and I was just like, I love you, Carl Urban. I think he's great in everything, and every scene he's in is fantastic. But I didn't care about the story. I didn't care about what was going on. I mean, like, it was sad that guy's girlfriend, exploded into a pile of red goo by a superhero. But at the same time, I was like, I don't like you particularly, so I don't care what happens to you. Like, it was just like, it just didn't make a difference to me. But I've been told, you got to try it again. It's so you. And I was like,
is it?
I think it takes a very delicate handling of things, because, like, for example, Preacher that finished 2 years ago, or was it last year? Preacher, the show, was fantastic. They did a really, really good adaptation of it. But the thing is, Preacher, the comic book, it was physically revolting to me, and I could not read it. So
yeah, I don't think I've ever read anything from that franchise.
I own, I think it's 3 graphic novels from it, because it was recommended to me by
Is
my
it related to Constantine at all?
It's not.
Okay.
No, it's not related to Constantine at all. But, like, the comics I read, the graphics I read, they're just gross. Now, in this show, because it was on TV, they of course had to, like, pick and choose the storylines they were going to tell, and some of the storylines they had to finesse a little to be allowed on television. So I think the choices that they made and the storylines that they picked to actually, like, go through in totality were the right ones with the right actors, and it was just so well done for television. So yeah, there's that. I don't know. I think it just kind of depends on what kind of content you're looking for and who does it and how it's done sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, sensitivity matters, or, like, representation matters. Like, we want to enjoy content that aligns with our values better than, or I guess in the past, like, we probably both watched this show in, I don't know, half of our lives ago, and in a completely different frame of mind. But at this point in my life, and the way that show hits me now, it really, I'm like, I wouldn't pick this. Like, I have a choice of infinite things to watch nowadays, and this is not going to be what I pick.
Yeah, Family Guy is not something that I pick at all. I can't even tell you the last time I've sat down and watched, like, a whole episode of Family Guy. Or American Dad, or Cleveland Show got canceled.
It's been years for me. Like, I still watch The Simpsons, and I will make time for The Simpsons, but like, the last couple of years have been really great. They've had some really, like more Marge storylines. All of her storylines have been awesome. She's been a lumberjack. She's been a pot dealer. Marge is living her best life.
I've actually seen both of those episodes, and I hated it.
Yeah, like, those are solid, right?
No,
come on.
No. Well, that's the thing. So, like, lately I've been like, oh, it's still on air, let me give it a shot. And every once in a while I'll watch an episode, and I sit there and I'm like, why is this on? But at the same time, within every single episode, they seem to be, like, pulling from new media to help them, right? So, for example, they'll try, like, a cool transition within the show, or they'll do, like, a time-lapse thing, or even with their couch gags now, like, they invite different artists and to come in and direct, like, a couch gag that's like 5 minutes of the whole show, and that stuff is really cool. But, like, overall, the whole episode, I'm just like, what are you, like, I don't understand what you're actually doing. Like, what is the point of this? So, I mean, it gives people work to do.
Have you seen any of it's Matt Groening, and anyways, have you seen Disenchanted at all?
Yeah.
You're gonna
hate me.
No, it's fine. It's okay. It's okay if you don't like it. I enjoy I really enjoy Abby Jacobson a lot, and I like that she's a crude and rude princess a lot.
Well, and that's the thing. I thought I would enjoy that aspect of it, and I watched the first 2.5 episodes. I stopped halfway through one of the episodes, and I was just like, I don't care. Like, this is my biggest problem. I'm getting to a point where sometimes the characters that they're creating are like, I just don't care. And then people are just like, no, you have to wait till like episode 8 and then you'll get it. I'm like, that's way too much of my time.
It's a long time
to give to this, you know? Be
that's
like, oh no, like
Into the Spider-Verse right
there. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, or people be like, oh no, I like the 3rd season, all of the stuff before it makes sense. And I'm like, you expect me to watch till the 3rd season to like a show? No, I don't have time for that. Because like you said, there's so much content out there. Like this is not like, you know, like the 90s where
we don't or even early 2000s. Like what this show was on 2000, we didn't have the infinity of choice that we have now.
Exactly, right? And you're like, you watched it because it was on, and you kept watching it because it was on.
And you didn't even think about it very much either. Like, it was so passing. Like, if there's anything that I could remember greatly, it's the bird is the word joke and the fighting chicken gag. And that is it. Like,
oh, no, my favorite one is the one where he falls down and gets like a Charlie horse. So they're like, and it goes for a little too long. That's my other, that's my other family
that happened to all the characters too, like Chris
at some point in time. For Lois it was her boob. I remember that part. I was like, oh my god, really? Is this what we're doing? Okay.
They're just like, we need to fill 30 seconds, we're just gonna make these noises.
It's still one of those jokes where you're just like, at first you're like, it's funny, then it's not funny, then it's funny again, and you're just like, really why? Why is this so funny? It's just the length of the joke. Like, you have to make things too long for them to eventually be funny again. Circle back around, exactly. But I mean, like, watching the episodes I watched, I actually remembered, not remembered, let's say they were all familiar while I was watching it. Like, I don't really remember the storyline and stuff. I'm like, I think I remember this. But then, like, the actual minutia of the episodes, I was like, oh my god. No. This is, that's all right. You know, it's that kind of thing. So, I don't know. But also, they pack so much into every single episode. With all of the references.
Constant cut-tos. They, like, cut to every chance they could. And it was like, they had, but I don't know, was it to the benefit of the show, the frequency of the jokes? Like, I don't even think, like you said, it took you, 8 jokes before you got a good chuckle in? Like, they were just throwing everything at you and hoping that you were going to, like, oh, maybe I'm going to laugh from this one, from the sheer uncomfortability of it. Like,
well, and that's the thing, like, I understand, like, the thing with McFarlane is that he loves vaudeville and he loves the old-timey kind of humor and jokes and all that kind of stuff, and you see it all in here. A lot of his references, it's not even that they go over my head, it's that I'm like, I know you're making a specific reference about something, but I don't know who that is because it's probably somebody from 1945. I'm not looking it up, right? But I think, like, his humor at certain levels are so highbrow that he's like poking you in the ribs about it. He's like, huh? Did you get it? Huh?
Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly. Like, even there's like the whole scene with Stewie's like sexy parties. I mean, if you didn't know about Benny Hill, then you would never get that reference. You're just like, why is Stewie running around in a sailor cap with scantily clad women? Da, 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 da. But I mean, I get it just because that shit was on TV when I was growing up, and my parents really liked British television. We watched tons of British television. So I get it, but like 90% of your audience is probably just like, what's happening?
What the hell?
It's funny because it's a baby dancing with ladies. Like, it's just, it's peculiar.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's definitely, a certain frame of reference.
It is. It really, really is. And honestly, like, it takes a lot of effort. Well, it takes a lot of effort to put out any media, no matter how good or bad it is. But the amount of jokes they try to shove into places, you're just like, dude, you're like, it must be exhausting.
Yeah, what was your writing room, right? How many writers went through your writing room, like,
you know,
before they died?
Because, like, you think about it and you're just like, okay, it's been 3 minutes without a cutscene. Give me a joke. What can we do? And you're just like, what? And it's just people yelling shit. And you're like, I'll take that one. And then just drop it in there.
I bet you that show, like, it has a higher even joke rate. Like, I think, like, honestly, they were trying to make at least 2 jokes a minute. Like, they were, like, really trying to get as much in as they could. Like, almost every line was, like, set up joke, set up joke, set up joke. And it's exhausting.
It's true.
And so, like, yeah, I think they were just hoping, like, it became a statistical numbers game, right? Like, out of our volume of jokes that we're going to share in this episode, we have 23 minutes. That means we're going to get at least 46 jokes. You're probably going to like at least half of them, and then think like 1 or 2 are really funny. So, like,
because even if they hit like 30% that people think is funny, they fucking killed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or I think they were I bet you they were going for 3%. We want 3%. Like, they were trying hard.
They were. Yeah, some of them you're just like, none of this is funny. What are you doing?
You weren't trying at all. You weren't trying at all.
You went for the lowest ball. You're like, this is as far as I'm going. Here we go. Boom.
And now you're just resorting to violence and
yeah. Yeah. You know, or people falling down stairs or tripping over something, and you're just like, why are we spitting on Meg again? I don't understand.
Guys, I remember Roadrunner real well. Like, you got nothing on them.
Exactly.
Don't try to outplay that game.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I think about shows like this. Sometimes I think early episodes of The Simpsons, for example, I might laugh out of nostalgia compared to it being actually funny, but no, like, at least I still get joy out of watching them, right? Or even shows like Seinfeld, where, like, yeah, like, a lot of the content is dated, and if you weren't alive at that point in time, there's no way anybody's getting these references, like calling someone on a cell phone. What do you mean you don't have a cell phone? Like, it's, shit like that. Nobody's getting it. Or having to wait for payphones. Why am I stuck on phones? I don't know why. Anyways. But, like, you watch them and they're still legitimately funny. Whereas this, you rewatch it and you're just like, that's not funny. Why did I think this was funny? Yeah.
You're just profiteering from being an asshole here. Like, you're not trying to make the world a better place, clearly.
Yeah. I mean, one of my notes for one of the episodes is simply why ? And honestly, I don't know if it's for the whole episode or for a specific scene, because I do not remember enough about the episode to care. So
yeah, I think I can't even remember. Yeah, there was one episode I literally shut it off as soon as I heard the line, "Bitch, I was talking," and I was like, "Nope, I'm out." Like, you had a good 12 minutes on me, but I'm not engaged anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, some things just trigger you sometimes, right? You're just like, that's not something that I need.
That's definitely your threshold. Like, yeah, I'm not tolerating this bullshit. I have a choice in this. This isn't something I have to passively consume or participate. My time is valuable.
Yeah. That's like the show. Remember the show Lucky that starred, and don't be confused with like the Britney Spears show or anything.
Is it she lucky?
Why is it not coming up? I know it exists. Why can't I find this? TV series. No, that's not it.
Is it 2017?
Oh no, it's not Lucky, it's Happy. What am I talking about?
Happy.
I'm such a weirdo.
Is that the one that was like a detective guy and it was weird animation?
Yes. He has he has an imaginary friend that's a unicorn.
Yeah, that was a real weird show. That was so dark.
Okay. So a few years ago, I bought the graphic novel that this is based on. because a friend of mine was just like, oh my God, you should read this. It's so good. And I was like, okay. Went to the comic store. Do you have this comic? Yes. Here it is. Oh my God, it's so good. I'm like, all right, done. I'm going to read it. 2 pages in, I was like, nope, close.
Goodbye.
I was like, I can't fucking do this. So when I found out that there was a TV show, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. It's going to star Christopher Maloney, who we've seen in many things. And Patton Oswalt voices his imaginary unicorn buddy over here. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. Maybe it's like Preacher, where it's like, I can't read the comic, but they'll fix it enough for TV that I'm just like, oh, I like how they've constructed the story and the characters, and it still can be weird, whatever. And I think it's either the beginning of the second episode or somewhere halfway through the first or the end of the first episode. I'm warning. There's a part, you don't actually see it, which is good. But there is a part where somebody has put a baby in a microwave to shut it up. And press start. Like, the baby was cooked in a microwave. Like, this is how... And I was like...
I don't even think I got to that part. I turned it off before that moment.
Yeah. And I was like, nope. You know, because that's... I was like, nope, this is not content I need in my life in any way, shape, or form. I don't care how good the acting is or how good the story is. That is just so unnecessarily vile and gross. That why is this something that you're presenting to people? And I was like, I just had to turn it off.
Like, that happens in real life. Like, why aren't we sensitive to that fact just a little bit more?
Yeah, exactly, you know? And I was like, I can't do this. And a lot of people are just like, oh my God, the show is so good. It's so funny. It's subversive. It's this, it's that, it's the other. And I'm like, oh, you want to just torture your soul? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or you don't feel compassionate for your, or you have no empathy that you like can just like glaze past this without being affected. Like, come on, do better. Be a better person.
Do better. You know? So,
are you the Nova Scotian fisherman, or are you?
Well, that's the thing, right? But that was like yesterday too. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was telling me about watching the Fargo TV series, and I said I hadn't watched it yet. And he's like, you know what? You probably wouldn't like it because there's gangster stuff in it. And I was like, whoa. A lot of people know that I don't like war or gangster movies, and I don't really do very well with horror. But war and gangster movies are very specific reasons why I don't watch it. It's because of my level of empathy. It's the fact that war and gangster movies are usually based on real life events where, you know, these atrocities actually happen to people. And I get, I'm revolted by it because I can,
they're horrendous.
Like, oh my God, it's horrendous. And I don't like watching it. But I'm like, but Fargo was a complete fictional place. And just because they have mobs in that fictional place doesn't mean I'm not going to like the show. And he was all confused. I'm like, but it's the same thing. I'm like, no, it's not. It is. That's the same reason why I can watch Star Wars. It's still war, but it's in space. It's not real. These things haven't happened to anybody.
They tell you at the very beginning, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Lexi, far away. This isn't real. This isn't people we know, like our ancestral shared DNA pool on our tiny little planets.
Yeah. But you know, but like I have a very hard time watching things like Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan, where people
I couldn't even watch She-Ra. Too military.
There you go, right? I feel they're two very different things, you know. Like I have a hard time watching Wolf Creek because that's based on a real event that happened, but I'll watch House of Wax.
Or like I just rewatched Mad Max Fury Road the other day because it is so weird, so delightful, so fun. Like yes, it's grotesque and there's fundamental flaws, like women are not treated well, blah blah blah. But I love that movie. Like, I enjoy the shit out of that movie.
Yeah, I'm not saying words. I'm fine.
You don't like that movie?
I said I was not saying words about it. It's fine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is a different discussion for a different time. I'm just gonna say.
Do you like Thunderdome? Is Thunderdome okay?
I don't understand the hype about Fury Road.
It was just
I get why people like it. I just don't understand why people like it that much. Like, I'm just like, it's fine.
It's okay. Yeah, it's just enjoyable. Like, it's mindless. Like, or I guess it's the same in my category of any of those types of like future dystopia, male protagonists. Like, they're all the same in my mind. Like, Waterworld, check. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Terminator, check. Predator, check. Highlander, check. Like, it's like fictional future world. I do like Resident Evil a lot. I've been rewatching that. It's a fun woman-based.
Yeah.
Toronto, Raccoon City represent.
So wait, wasn't that like the fourth one, I think, where they blew up City Hall?
Yeah.
Was it that one? Yeah.
I think the third or the fourth. I don't know. They're all very enjoyable. The Resident Evil franchise, very enjoyable.
God.
It's Halloween. Yeah. It's October. It's what
it's what you're supposed to be watching. Yeah.
I've been obsessed. So I watched the entirety of Haunting of Bly Manor in one day. That was 9 one-hour episodes.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
It was so good. Highly recommend it. Now I'm watching the related franchise that came before it, but it's like American Horror Story.
Yes.
It's the Haunting of Hill House.
People say that one's a lot scarier than Bly Manor, apparently.
Oh, is it? They're just delightful. Just
I don't know. I'm into Lovecraft Country right now, personally. I am loving every minute of it. There are definitely episodes that are better than others, but oh my god, is that show fantastic. It is so fantastic.
What is it on?
Oh, it's on HBO.
Okay.
Or Crave in Canada, I guess. And it is just, it's so good. It is so good. It's not anything near what I expected it to be when I started watching it. But that first episode is terrifying for not the reason you think it's terrifying. And the things that are scary in the show are not the things that you expect to be the scary part of the show. And you're just like, what? This is amazing. Yes.
Have you been watching the new Twilight episodes at all? The new season?
I have not.
Oh, they just started again. You could probably watch them all on Crave.
Okay.
But they're great. They're really good. Even though I thought it was going to be weird. I'm like, oh, it's kind of ill-timed, like pandemic and Twilight Zone, and like, no, but honestly, like, we're not trick-or-treating this year. Like, just embrace the horror genre as your outlet of entertainment. And like, I don't know, it's so deeply enjoyable for me. Like, I know that I'm not going to be traumatized, like when I watch what's that one? The Black Mirror episodes. Like, this isn't trauma-inducing. This is just like...
I think the Black Mirror episodes, the problem with those is that they're too plausible, or they're too... You can see it happen, like those things happening in our actual future, like in our actual timeline, and
I pray to God for a Miley Cyrus robot. Like, I want that so hard. That's on my Christmas list.
Are you sure she's not already a robot?
Oh, please. Have you watched that episode? It is so good.
No, I have not watched that episode.
Watch it because, spoiler, she's singing. So at the beginning, it's like a pop song, and it's a really catchy pop song, and you're like, oh, I know this song, but it doesn't. It sounds like really happy, and Trent Reznor does the music on that episode, so it sounds really spooky, and it's Miley Cyrus, isn't it? Yeah, it's Miley Cyrus. And she's like a forlorn pop star that they're killing. And in the end, she sings the happy pop song again, and it's actually a 9 Inch Nails song. And it's like, oh, I knew the song all along, and this is so delightful. Surprise!
Yeah.
But watch it! I'm telling you. Okay, I'll give you all your black cards back.
Thank you. I'll
give you some of my white people cards.
Yes, I'm not excited about Miley Cyrus. I know you're trying to sell it.
No, I'm just telling you, it is like, did you see the Natalie Portman movie where she played like the the diminishing prima donna where
Black Swan?
No, she's a pop star with an alcohol.
Oh, no, I have not watched that one.
It's kind of like, so it's like, yeah, it's dark. Like, it's like this dark reality into like a dark peek into the entertainment industry and the lengths that the entertainment industry wants to exploit people for the benefit of itself and not necessarily the stars. So you see like that whole conflict of like, she's on life support at one moment and they're like trying to sign away her eternal rights. And it's like, oh, dark, Black Mirror. Okay, that's the whole episode. But then you get to hear it's good, I'm telling you.
I know. I've only seen I've only actually watched one episode of Black Mirror.
I hope it wasn't the first one.
No, it was the Star Trek-ish episode because my friend was like,
too. It was terrible.
Okay, thank you very much. Because my friend was like, oh my god, if you're gonna get into it, watch this one first. You're gonna love it. It's like Star Trek, blah, 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 blah. And I watched it, I was like, this is the worst thing I have ever seen.
It was real bad. Like,
I was just like, this is not winning me over in any way, shape, or form.
No, there's like that one it's hit and miss, right? Like they could traumatize you. They're very traumatizing. There's one with Dallas Bryce Howard, I think it is, and it's a really cool episode where like kind of like in Uber, you rate people, and so her rating is going down, and she's just having like a white woman collapse very publicly, but it's kind of secretly everything.
Yeah, but don't they have that rating system in like China right now when they're trying to remove it because the rating system is destroying people's lives?
It is, and this episode is exactly like that. Like it affects, but it's also just a really good demonstration about systemic racism, right? Because like if you don't have the rating or don't have the qualifier, the company or whatever you're working with, they're going to deny you service, they're going to deny you accessibility. So it's like, yeah, I think these are good. I love making social commentary through story this way, and that way it's like done really effectively.
Well, honestly, if that's the kind of thing you're interested, recently I watched a show called Upload, and it came out I want to say beginning of last year, I think it came out. And I just hadn't gotten around to watching it. And I finally got around to looking at it. And it seemed to be, it takes place in our future. It doesn't really say how far into our future, but it takes place in our future where if you're about to die, you could upload your consciousness into this program and you can pay for your service to be in this program and stuff. And for you experience being in a fancy hotel and you get everything you want and all that kind of stuff, right? And I was like, oh, this looks like a nice, frivolous, it's going to be a funny show.
No, it's not.
Oh my God.
Probably like Westworld in disguise.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, the show is so good. I loved every minute of it. There were aspects of the show I wasn't thinking of. But also, if you watch the show, you need to watch the show and then we can discuss it. Because the implications of some of the stuff that they have in the show seem, A, plausible and realistic that it's something that could be developed in our world. And B, some of it is so terrifyingly horrific if you actually think about what it means that you're just like, oh my God, what? Like, it just seems crazy. And I need to just like emotionally talk about those aspects of that show to someone and what these implications mean about like death and life and, you know, even just like sexual encounters. There's a whole thing that like it's just like stuff that happens in the backgrounds of scenes, like they have a bunch of cars that you talk to. You don't drive the car, you kind of sit in it and tell it where to go and all that kind of stuff. But part of the implication of it is that the cars themselves pseudo have a kind of a conscience.
Oh, okay.
It's not really a conscience. They have like a personality, let's put it that way. And you interact with them and you do things, but also you can choose to prioritize pedestrians or the person driving the car. And if, you know, so if there's a pedestrian and you have the driver prioritize, there's a very good chance the car will hit the person on the street instead of swerving around them, for example. But what does that mean for society? Is that a car accident? Is that hit and run? What is that implication? But if you prioritize the driver, the driver would swerve around them, or the car would stop, or something, because you just don't want to hit them. And then you have these two people in a relationship where the girl says to the guy's like, do you have like pedestrians prioritized? And he's like, yeah. She's like, that's just stupid, and switches his like what his car does. And I was like, oh my god, she's psychotic. Like, this is just crazy. But then you watch the rest of the show and certain things come out, and why she's this way and who's that, and there's all these kind of like little social things like that where you're just like, but what does that mean about like what proliferates in the rest of everything? And it's very interesting.
That's cool. What's that on? Where is it?
That one's on Amazon.
Amazon?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm. I really liked it. It's only one season. I really hope they bring it back. I liked it way more than I thought I would. And I was just like, this is not what I was expecting. And it's also one of those shows where all of a sudden you're just like, ha ha ha. And you're like, why am I sad? It's also one of those
I'm
things.
crying again. I'm crying.
Yeah. So
I know you don't enjoy it, but I really, and there's 2 seasons, but I enjoy and I recommend Altered Carbon. Kind of, it sounds similar. Like, there's like a robot character that has like a conscience, and I love that trope so much. I think I identify with it in real life.
Yeah. It's like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, like Marvin.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
and also the sign doors too.
Yeah, it's just like sad robot, and sad clown, like super, like the same thing. It's it's something we're trained to want or relate to in our lives.
Yeah.
But it's and it's got like the whole concept of like body swapping and consciousness and what that mean, and so you can transport consciousness outside of the body, and it has all these fun devices like that. So like it means you can switch the entire cast because they're just the same conscious, different bodies. So
yeah, I mean, I didn't have a problem with the show. It just wasn't interesting enough for me to go back to it because I had choices.
Oh yeah,
I watched 2 episodes and I was like, well, let me watch something else, and then I just never went back to it.
It's just, I don't know. All I want to, well, it sounds like I watch a lot of content. I do watch a lot of content, but like I just want to watch like a spacey soap opera, and I'm like watching endless episodes of Firefly, and Discovery. I'm finally watching the 2nd season.
Oh my god.
It's problematic.
It's very well. The thing is, so with Discovery, the first season is good sci-fi, but it's bad Star Trek. The second season is bad everything.
It's like it's all over the place. It doesn't even know what it is anymore. Like I'm like, who am I rooting for? I don't even know. I do like the storyline that they have with the character. I can't remember his name. He's,
they're like the Klingon-ish dude or whatever.
No, the guy, the tall alien guy that.
Saru.
Yeah, that has that's like a fun-ish subplot line.
I don't know. I don't enjoy Saru very much. I find him annoying.
Being an enslaved culture, like that's like, and he like he brings his like whole society forward.
Sorry, I gotta tell you. Did you watch the short treks before you started season 2?
No,
you have to watch the short tracks before you start season 2.
Okay, I'll go back. I'm only like 4 episodes in, so
that's fine. So how many episodes of short tracks are there? There's not that many. I think there's only 4 or 5, and they're 15 or 20 minutes each. Star Trek short tracks. So for end of season 1, there's 4. There's 4 of them. But each one of these later connects to something in the 2nd season. So I recommend, because then you might miss part of the story, and some of these things do come back overall. Especially because you brought up Saru, and one of the short treks has to do with that whole storyline.
Oh, okay.
So watch those. And then and then after season 2, there was a bunch of short treks as well after that. So
there's more?
Yeah. So the short treks are like, don't forget about Star Trek filler in between seasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fun.
And then season 3 of Discovery started on Thursday, and I was still at my mother's place because I visited her for a week, and she was like, "Why are you so angry?" And I'm like, I just started pointing at the television and flailing my arms. So,
honestly, like, I have to admit, like, I've missed so much of the actual content of the second season, because every time, like, Anthony Rapp and his on-screen, like, boyfriend are together in a season, or together, I just start singing Seasons of Love, and every song from Rent, and so it's like, what's happening? I don't know.
Oh my god,
25,600.
Yeah, but the thing is, their love story is actually really kind of nice. One of my favorite scenes in all of Discovery is the part where they're brushing their teeth together while listening to, like,
so
it's such a sweet, and it's such a simple, and it's such a nice scene. I loved
it. No, it was so, I remember it so succinctly. It was so precious.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I just love, like, scenes like that where you're just like, see, like, those small parts is what makes Star Trek great, because Star Trek was all about changing things, and, like, well, Roddenberry's vision was to change things and move things forward, and to just subtly put, moments together in some of those episodes is what makes it great. And one of my biggest problems with, like, this show specifically, and what makes it not Star Trek, is that most of these shows, there's no deduction, there's no diplomacy, there's no discussion of any kind, there's no introspection. It's like, I'm speaking a lot of words really quickly, the Federation, and then they shoot people, and you're just like, no, you're supposed to try the first 3 things, and then when something goes wrong, you're supposed to fight back. Like, I'm not saying there isn't space war in Star Trek, but, because, like, what about episodes like Measure of a Man in TNG? Like, there's no space fighting in it. It's all about trying to understand what makes something alive and what allows it to make decisions, and it's all just talk, but it is so intense, and it is so well done, and it's so good. But every single episode of Discovery, it's just like, let's blow something up, cool, look, there's lights, we've got lens flare. You're like, fuck off, dude, like, stop it, like, do something interesting, do something slightly different. Like, it's just whatever. I'm gonna that's
Spore Drive, Cilium Network.
And trust me, sorry, it's the mycelial network. I'm just going to correct you because I'm so important, and I know.
You know what? My midi-chlorian count, like, I can't even remember that shit.
Wrong universe. Oh my god.
I think I just spoke my allegiances. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. This is when the fight starts.
I have a Star Wars tree. A Star Wars tree.
Oh my god. Yeah. But when you get to the end of season 2, you are going to message me or call me screaming. Just be prepared for this. Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. It's like, I don't know. It's like one of those things, like, it's not the best TV, but it's fulfilling. Like, I kind of have known expectations around it, and you have familiarity with the characters. I like social commentary through sci-fi. Like, it's a love that I'll always have.
Yeah. No, it's true. Because it's one of those things that makes people, like, ironically notice all the things they're doing wrong in their life, but never fix it themselves. Like, it's fun.
It's like, I'm like, it's my jam. It's my jam.
But that's the thing. So, and also you should watch Lower Decks, because Lower Decks was phenomenal.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and it made me expect more from this third season of Discovery,
Oh,
which has
nice.
failed me
It
miserably.
raised the bar. I love
Yeah,
that.
which
I
is so
love when
sad.
cartoons can point it out. Like, like we don't have the money to do this live action, guys, but what the money we do have, we're going to show you we can do it better.
It's so good. It's like Orville, right? Where you're just
Yeah.
you're like, Orville is better Star Trek than Discovery is. And you're just
Or it's
like,
more TNG than Discovery for sure.
for sure. But that's the thing, is I don't expect Discovery to be TNG, but that's why I liked the first season of Discovery. I'm like, it's not really Star Trek, but it's decent sci-fi, so I can watch this. And like you said, it was fulfilling a certain need in my watching, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, I can handle this. This is fine. And then season 2 started, and I was like, you just flushed it down the toilet, aren't you? You're just gonna ruin everything. Fine.
Pike. Pike.
You know. I don't, like, honestly, I don't mind Pike that much, but it's unnecessary to have the Enterprise or Spock in it, even though it only takes place 10 years before the original series starts. I get it, but no, that whole thing isn't necessary. Burnham being Spock's sister, completely unnecessary for the overall show. And then a lot of the stuff they just do is it's just stupid. You're just like, why is this a decision that you're making? There's nothing logical about what you're doing right now. Can we not do this? Like,
I just thought it was so funny that they they're all this like Pike business, and they're looking for Spock again. I'm like, no, were the movies, like the original Star Trek movies, so profitable, like in the search for Spock, that we have to relive that entire thing? And I'm like, now we're only ever searching for Spock. Like, where the hell are you, Spock? Why are you perpetually missing?
You can't have Star Trek
That's
without
illogical, Spock.
Also, who's this guy who plays Spock? That man is thick. I'm just saying, he is thick. There is a part where he's in like a spacesuit on another planet. He's walking around, and there is a shot of that guy's booty, and I was just like, "Woo, Sam,
back it up, Spock."
I'm like, I don't mind watching that, but that ain't Spock's ass. I'm gonna tell you that is just wrong. That's different. That's a different kind of emotion coming out of me at that point.
Whoo! The spicy times of Star Trek. You wipe some Vaseline on your screen.
Yeah,
that shit.
Yeah, get the little like But that's a different story. Yes,
for another day.
Yeah, for another day. But yes, Star Trek. Since I brought up the Orville, we still haven't talked about the Orville.
Okay, Orville. Let's talk about it. I love it. I love it so much.
It's so good.
I didn't want to love it. Like, I watched it at first because, like, I didn't want to admit that Seth MacFarlane could relate to me. But then it was just so good. Like, it's funny in appropriate ways. It's silly they have those relational, like, it's a relationship-based, like, dramedy, I guess.
Yes.
Like, it's sci-fi dramedy.
Yeah, it's a lot less spoofy than I thought it was going to be. Right?
Yeah, and like they keep the technology to a minimum and the special effects minimal, which is also great.
Yeah. Oh, have you watched Star Trek Picard either?
I haven't seen any of Picard. Do you like it?
That's all right. I have many of the same frustrations of the first season of Discovery with it, but also there's a couple of very nostalgia-filled episodes that make me like those episodes.
Yeah, I mean, it's still Patrick Stewart, and it's still, like, are, like, there other familiar faces that pop up in the show?
Yeah, 7 of 9 shows up in the show.
Oh, that's fun.
Troy and Riker show up. So does Hugh, and so does Icheb. I'm not going to tell you about Icheb because I'm still mad about it. And who else shows up? Doesn't somebody else show up? No, I think that's it. I think those are the only familiar faces that you see, because there's references to other people, but you don't actually see them on screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun though.
Yeah. So, but there's also one episode where you're just like, this episode is stupid. Why does this episode exist? It doesn't need to. It's fine. Whatever.
I mean, funnily enough, even though they've shortened the episode lengths down to like 10 or 12 or whatever, the stupid ones still seem to get made.
Right? But
Yeah.
I'm just like, you're wasting storytelling time.
You only have 10. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, it's very frustrating. But I only bring that up because end of season 2 of Discovery, and one of the short treks for the end of season 2 connects to Picard. So, yeah.
Oh, fun. That's cool.
I was very annoyed when I found the connection to Picard, because I was just like, you don't need to connect to this. You need to distance yourself from that. But no, they brought it together.
Get away. Whenever I watch Discovery with Jeff, like, he's always, because he just walks into the room and like observes the main character, Michael, just sprinting somewhere, and he's like, why is she always running? And I was like, she's a badass who's fought like zombies for 8 years. It's all she knows how to do. Like,
it's true. She's like, this is where she's come from. Of course she's gonna run.
This is who she is.
Yeah. Honestly, my favorite character on the show is Tilly. I love Tilly.
Oh, I love Tilly too.
Tilly's
She's
great.
Funny. Mm-hmm. She's like, I love the awkward self-assurance. Like,
yeah, she is full of confidence, but every once in a while she's just like,
awkward as hell.
Can I? Yeah, is that okay? You're just like, yeah, you're gonna do what you're gonna kill, which she does. So I do enjoy Tilly a great deal. I think she's the one character in the show that actually makes like the most sense. Whereas everybody else, you're just like, really?
What are these choices? I don't understand.
Yeah. It's very peculiar.
But did you have a favorite story arc with Orville?
What are they called? The dudes from that planet. When they were having a baby.
Oh yeah, and they're all male gender.
Yeah, and they're an all-male gender, and they found out that they were going to have a female offspring, and they had to, like, decide, we can make her male, or, like, she could be female and be ridiculed and whatever. And I was just like, what? That's crazy. I thought that was, like...
And that one went on for, like, a long time, too, because, like... Even later in the relationship, it's still affecting them. That's
a season 1 episode? That's like the third episode of the show.
Yeah, it's like the third episode. And yeah, it has long term, because I think in the second season, they go back to the planet and they discover the women that are living on the planet and they're trying to save them.
They're in caves and in seclusion and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say I haven't watched any of this show in order. I've watched random episodes here, there, and everywhere, and every time I catch it, I like the episodes.
Yeah.
The first ones I watched were the one with the Isaac guy and they were gonna like kill everybody. Those were the first 2 episodes of the show.
Oh my god, what a way to start the show. Because you don't even know up until that point he had been developing like a close relationship with the doctor and has kids and she trusts him and they get married.
Well, the funny thing is that like I didn't even the way the show was constructed and the episodes were constructed, you didn't need to know that backstory because it's built in so well into the interactions with the characters that you're just like, oh, they have a thing and her kids like the robot, but now the robot's gonna go kill everybody.
The robot's gonna kill them. Yes.
So like that was great. It really was a very good introduction to the show.
Oh, those episodes were amazing. They were so good. And they had a good build, too. So, like, if you do watch it in order, it is, like, a very satisfying thing to see develop.
Yeah. And it was, like, so, like, I watched those, too, and those were fantastic. I really should go back to watching all of the, like, just all of the episodes in general. Like, in order, though, so I can properly build the story.
They had like a really fun farewell for the security officer who has to go like back home. But they have a really wonderful treatment. So they go home and like you see your family and stuff. And it's the doctor from Janeway's ship.
Voyager?
Voyager.
Oh, Robert Picardo?
Yeah. And like, and they have like all of these fun Star Trek crossovers all the time, and you're like, oh, hey!
Well, yeah, there was the episode where they had the artifacts, and it was like Tuvok that had like the stuff.
Yeah,
that he brought on the show. I was like, Tuvok's here. I was very excited about it.
Yeah.
And I think I saw somebody else. Who was the other person I saw? And I was like, oh my god, I think it was. No, I don't remember who it was. Never mind. But there was 2 people from Star Trek I saw in this, but it wasn't the Robert Picardo episode because I would have lost my mind if I saw him.
They're good. They're really good ones.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I do have to go back and like, I don't think I've watched all of the episodes from both seasons. I've just had a smattering from here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, I do have to go back and like properly watch them. Because like there's the one because the one with the artifacts where the one guy falls in love with the stories of this girl who has it's like messages on her phone or whatever, and he falls in love with her. I was like, oh, you're the new Geordie LaForge.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah. Geordie had a really hard time with his love life, okay? It's really painful.
He got no play.
He fell in love with holograms. He fell in love with a dead girl.
Yeah.
And you're just like, dude, what are you doing? He gets rejected regularly on the show. There's a couple of
Data was always following him around and cramping his style.
Yeah, like it was crazy. So, but I'm sorry, I think even Data got more play than he did.
Yeah, Data got more play than Geordie did, for sure.
Yeah, that's one thing. But Geordie is one of the fastest ranking, like main characters in all of Star Trek.
Oh,
like it's crazy. I was reading a story about this because they were talking about like the ranking system. Yeah, I'm this much of a nerd. I read these kinds of things. They were talking about like progressions through things, and it started off with Harry Kim still being an ensign even though they were in the the Alpha Quadrant for however long, came home and he was still an ensign. Whereas even like the Doctor had like the command protocol, which made him like captain and all that kind of stuff. I felt sorry for that guy. But then it went back, but then they were talking about other people getting promoted and all that kind of stuff, because like Worf gets promoted, and even like Cisco gets promoted and all that kind of stuff. But Geordi, even within TNG, like his promotion levels, like how quickly he goes from point A to point B is really, really fast. And you're just like, oh my God, it's true. Because within a season and a half of Next Generation, he was chief engineer. And you're just like, how is this possible? It's crazy.
You go, Geordi. You get him.
Go, Geordi. He's great. He's good at his job. That's one thing you can't. He's bad with the women, but great at his job.
Right?
That's all you need to know. Yeah.
It's all he had. If you take that away from him, he has nothing.
Exactly. Okay, I'm going to stop this nerd discussion because people are just shaking their heads, just like, oh my God, she's on Star Trek again.
This was a Family Guy episode?
Family Guy! I mean, I don't even know what else to say about Family Guy. I'm just kind of over it, I suppose.
Or I think we've come to the natural conclusion, which is don't watch Family Guy, watch Orville.
Yeah.
If you're going to watch something from the Seth MacFarlane franchise, skip over all the animated shit, go straight to Orville.
Yeah. Or you can even watch, what is it? A Million Ways to Die in the West, which I surprisingly liked a great amount.
It definitely had moments. Like, yeah. It had funny bits.
It did make me laugh a couple of times. I don't know why. The part with, like, the ice falling on the dude and the dude dying, I don't know. That made me laugh for, like, 5 minutes. I was very disappointed in myself when I started laughing that hard about it. He's also great as the voice of Mike, the singing mouse in the movie Sing. So I'd recommend that movie. Yeah. That movie is just a lot of fun. I like that movie.
That's a great movie.
That's a great movie.
It references like 1,000 songs, too. It's so fun.
But also, you want to talk about pulling heartstrings? Like the part where the koala goes back to washing cars? Oh, heartstrings pulled.
Oh.
So much stuff.
Or even I had maybe a tear shed moment when the elephant found her confidence.
And she started to sing.
She belted it and she killed it. And I was like, yes.
Yes. So, it's amazing. Amazing. Also, the first time I watched that movie was the first time I heard all of the song Shake It Off. I did not realize it was the same Taylor Swift song because T Swift sucks. Stop listening. But yes, it's the only rendition of that song that I enjoy.
Yeah. Haters gonna hate.
I'm not participating in this. I'm sorry. None of this.
Shake it off, Tracy. Shake it off.
Yes. Because you know how I love cheesy lyric talk, and the restraint I am feeling right now is intense. Fine. But yeah, so watch other Seth MacFarlane things besides
watch everything else by Seth MacFarlane except this.
So, well, actually, you know what's even really good? You can find live table readings of episodes, and watching him do a conversation with Stewie, Brian, and Peter back and forth is it's a sight to behold. It's incredible how he switches back and forth so easily.
That would be cool.
Yeah. First time I saw that, I was just like, oh my God, is he going to have a heart attack? Is he going to have a connection? And he's done. Woo! That was a lot. Mm-hmm.
I may watch it only because I do love everybody else in the cast. Like Alex Bornstein, Seth Green, Mila Kunis. They're all winners in my book.
They're so great. Yeah. Oh, you know what you might want to watch for Family Guy? The original trilogy episodes. Like he does a parody version of the episode, like the movies. Yeah. It's called Blue Harvest.
The Star Wars ones, right? Yes. I do remember those ones quite vividly. I like the Robot entertaining one better, but
oh my God, the Robot Chicken ones are so good.
They're so good. Funny.
But one of the funny things about it is that at the end of, I think it's the first one or the second one, they make reference to Robot Chicken, and then Chris is defending the show. Robot Chicken against Peter. It's so good.
Of course. I mean, that's true. That's true to life. Yeah. That's a true life moment.
Yeah. I love Robot Chicken. I love how ridiculous it is, and it's just generally funny.
And like oddly enough, like the same kind of humor, but I think it's like because it is making base level jokes, right? Like it's making like the crudest, most vulgar jokes often but for some reason it's so much more funnier than Family Guy. And I think it's because it's aware of itself. Like it knows it's doing bad behavior, and like I don't know, it's a more obvious satirical choice.
It is. Yeah, I totally agree. But my favorite bits are usually the ones that are like 30 seconds long, like the old guys laughing in the park and then one of them dying, like I don't know why. I love every one of those. They make me laugh.
Yeah.
Or, my other favorite one is the pirate. He's a pirate and he's got like a wheel in front of him, and they're like, "What's with the wheel? It's driving me ship." It's really funny. I don't know why it makes me laugh, but it does. It makes me laugh every day.
And just like the dolls, I love like all the dolls that they use, and like it's like the stop motion animation. It's so funny. Like,
Bitch Pudding is funny. I like that.
I like the one. I think it's the cereal they do of Admiral Akbar, and I'm like, it's a trap.
Yeah. And they do the two Kirks and a con thing as well, which I think is great. Which is like, it's like two guys, a girl, and a pizza place, but it's Kirk Cameron, Captain Kirk, and Con.
That's that was great.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here laughing at myself at it. It's fine. But yeah, watch Robot Chicken instead of Family Guy. There you go. Just do it.
Yes, watch Robot Chicken.
If there's still a connection there, it still counts.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's all good. That's so funny. All right. Is that it? I mean, I feel like we talked about Family Guy for 20 minutes and then spent the next hour talking about everything else possible.
But I think we did justice to the subject matter.
I think so. I mean, we had a 2-scene reading. We talked about the talent in the show.
Yeah.
We talked about the content of the show, and then we tangented off into areas that slightly touch the programming. So yeah, I think it works.
We're very sophisticated consumers, is what we've established here today.
Obviously, pure
I mean, in theory, this show should appeal to us, and we should like it. We have the same humorous qualities of a 14-year-old boy, and yet this fell flat with us. So I think it's safe.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is that at some point in time, it did land with us, but because we are maturing adults, quote unquote, I don't even think my humor has matured that much, but still, even I was just like, I did a lot of grimacing while watching the episode. So
yeah.
We'll see. All right.
We'll see in another 10 years if it still stands the test of time.
It's like the joke with the hamstring, like after a long period of time, it comes back around to being funny again.
Another 20 years.
Exactly. We'll see. Well, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's it for this episode of Off My Shelf. Until the next time, you can follow along on Instagram and Twitter at ohmyshelf, or you can send an email to ohmyshelf@gmail.com. On the next episode, we'll be talking about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and Fantastic Mr. Fox. Hope you'll be here to listen.